Talked about the emotional adjustment from game 1 to game 2 when a team loses, but what's the biggest adjustment you think you guys need to make? Is that part of it? Is it the emotional?
I think boxing out and making sure we're physical enough on the glass. I thought we played hard in a lot of areas, and then when the shot went up, we let our guard down. And so as a result, they got 17 offensive boards. I think 9 or 10 additional field goal attempts than we did. And, you can pick apart the game, and there's always going to be stuff that you can do better here or there. But when it comes down to it, you throw the schemes out the window, throw strategy out the window. It comes down to who's going to get the ball, who's going to get the long rebounds, the loose balls, and they did that much better than we did, and that's why they won.
Coach Kerr, you last night you were kind of concerned about Monk getting those 14 free throws. What did you see as far as him getting in the paint like that and drawing those fouls?
Yeah, he did a great job. He had a hell of a game, and I thought we got out of sorts a little bit in transition a couple of times. That led to some of his free throws, and then just giving him angles that we could have done a better job with. But give him credit. He had a great game, and we've got to make sure we take better care of him tomorrow.
What was your impression of the atmosphere last night?
It was great. The atmosphere was incredible. It was so loud in there, and the fans were so excited to have the Kings back in the playoffs, and I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Are you impressed with what Coach Brown has done in one season?
Yeah, Mike's been amazing. They've put together a really good roster, and he and his staff have just put the pieces together perfectly, and they got a really good team. They've had a great season, and they were great last night.
The last playoff game that Harrison Barnes played in was Game 7 for you guys, and so was it weird to see him, playing against you? And what do you think his legacy for the Warriors team is?
Number one, I love Harrison. He's one of my all-time favorites. I think his legacy with the Warriors is that he's one of the foundational figures that started all of this run. Obviously, helped us win a championship, helped us win 73 games and set a record, but it was much more than that. It was the work ethic, just the identity of what he represented. The versatility defensively, the ability to play with multiple lineups, the character, high character, great teammate, all of that. I think Harrison really helped establish who this team would become.
I know you may not want to tip all this off, but is Wiggins physically able to start? You think now? I
don't know. I haven't talked to Rick yet today. I think he has to look at Wiggs, and he's got to go through some treatment today. And I haven't talked to Wiggs either. But I thought he got a little bit tired in the second half yesterday, which was to be expected. But 28 minutes, pretty good for his first game back, and we'll kind of assess and see where we are.
The Kings stay pretty big, always playing a center. You mentioned the rebounds. I know you guys don't tend to go big, but was just the size part of that they were bigger than you?
Well, I would argue. We played Loon and Draymond 32 and 34 minutes respectively, so we did stay big for much of the game, and then we alternate those two guys. It didn't feel like it was a size. And when you watch the tape, it's just shot goes up, and guys are looking at the ball and can't do that. And the shot goes up, you have to find the free man and go hit him, go box him out. And we didn't do that, so that has nothing to do with size.
Steve, beyond the defense, or beyond the rebounding, when you look at the defense on video, was it mostly schematic? Was it guys just not staying in front of their guys, or how do you sort of assess
overall defense?
Yeah.
Transition. It started with transition. We made a lot of mistakes there, and that led to some early buckets. I thought we did some great things defensively during the game, and guys played their butts off, but as I said, we let our guard down when the shot went up. If you look at our defense, just in terms of forcing misses and getting into our coverages and initial defense, we did a pretty good job. But when you give 17 extra chances, it's really tough.
We talked a little bit about shot selection after last night.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see from it? You said you weren't completely satisfied. Was it just rush shots? Was it forcing it? What was wrong with it?
Yeah, I think, our team always kind of walks a fine line. We want our guys aggressive and loose and free, and we want them to be uninhibited out there. But at the same time, we want them to recognize that we can go from good to great. And we had a lot of good shots. We can get great shots, and we know that. Watching the film, we have to make them guard for longer stretches. We know that when we do that, doesn't matter who we're playing, when we do that, instead of settle for the first open three, you move it again, get the ball swung side to side, you get a better one. And that's something we have to look at.
Mike Brown talks about how it only gets harder from here today. How important is Game 2 in being able to even the series at this point?
Game 2's important. Every game's important. I don't ever, really say anything's must win until you have 3 losses. Then it's actually must win. But we've been through everything in the last decade with this team. These guys know what it's about, and you take it a day at a time. Today's a day where we watch film and recover and see where we can get better. Come back tomorrow, put our best effort out there. Whatever the result is, we go back to work the next day, and you just keep doing that over and over again until the series is over. And everything else is just hyperbole, and you don't worry about any of that.
With how much familiarity there is between you and Mike Brown, does that make it easier for you guys coaching or harder because you guys know each other so well?
I don't think it makes a huge difference. I think, he knows our team really well. And so, there's a couple things that we saw last night that we probably anticipated. And Mike's great. He's a really strategic coach. He's got a great eye for the game, and he knows our players. So he's great. He does a good job. But at the same time, the players are out there, making plays. And if we play that game and we actually finish our defensive possessions with box outs, then we're sitting here up 1-0 and feeling pretty good. So, but that's how it goes. There's always what ifs. You watch the tape and you move forward.
Steve, how'd you see the job you did against Sabonis?
Did a pretty good job against Sabonis in the dribble handoffs. We took away some of their pet actions, and then they went to more pick and roll with Fox. But these games and these series, it's for everybody. It's whack-a-mole. You take away one thing and something else pops up. All these guys are great players on both teams, and so you never stop and think, all right, we solved that problem, right. And now we just got to take care of this one. So tomorrow could be totally different, and it probably will be for both teams. So you just have to try to take care of the stuff you can take care of, and clean up the things that you think you can do better.
Does that kind of
with the Aaron, what did you see on the tape in terms of where he got away from you?
I thought second half they really went to more pick and roll, and he got into the middle of the paint and started knocking down his mid-range stuff. And I think once he knocked down a few of those, he got confident from the three-point line. And as I said, he made 4 threes in the second half. So you kind of have to tip your hat to him on that, because he's a guy who is, what you really fear is him getting right to the front of the rim. And we did a decent job of that, but we could make things harder on him for sure.
Does that game sort of show how potent they are offensively? I mean, like you said, you guys played pretty well defensively. Obviously, gave up some boards. You look up and they got 126.
Yeah, number 1 ranked offense
right.
for a reason. Yeah.
What did you think of Jonathan's game last night, and what's sort of the ideal role for him in this series for you guys?
Yeah, he did some good things. Jonathan, he gives us another athletic defender to put on the point of attack, whether it's Fox or Monk. We can utilize him in a number of ways. I'd like to see him rebound. You know, he didn't have a rebound last night, and that's got to be a focal point for him and for our whole team. Like I said, we can keep talking about everything, but it still comes back to rebounds. And but I thought J.K. did a really nice job in a lot of ways, and he can get better.
And Megan hasn't rebounded a lot, in his entire NBA career, in the long one. But is that how much of that is because he's mostly assigned to perimeter defense, or is there just some times where he's not turning around?
Yeah, he's just a very young player, and so he's still learning, as he goes. And there's stuff on tape where we'll point out certain things to him, and he's had a really good year for us. He's gotten dramatically better, over this course of the season. So. Process stays the same. We'll show film and show him areas where he can get better, and he'll continue to work.
Is there a sense of hey, look, we've seen this movie before. we know how to do this.
Yeah.
Bird with their dipper speed.
I'm not even going to expound on that. Yes.
We all watch the non-step minutes. Clearly, we ask you about them all the time. When it's a playoff game and you feel it, it's 6 points, 8 points, 9 points, and he's sitting there. How anxious do you get and start recalibrating whether you should get him back in quicker?
No, we played it how we're going to play it last night. 48 hours in between games 1 and 2. I think he played 38 minutes. We just didn't do a very good job while he was out. I don't regret resting him. I think he's a player who has to work so hard at both ends with the ball in his hands, but also defensively. And I think playing Steph 40+ minutes isn't the answer. The answer is handling the non-Steph minutes better, and that's something we've got to do.
Now, as far as 72 hours between the next game.
You mean games 2 and 3? Yeah.
Is the thinking different, I guess, when you have 2 days in between?
Maybe. We'll see once we get there.
The way you do it, you do have Steph and Draymond out together just because Draymond's got to start the second and fourth. Is that something that could be tweaked there?
Sure. We look at all that stuff. We've already talked about that this morning as a staff, and those are possible adjustments. But then you watch the tape and you go, all right, a couple missed free throws and a mistake in transition. It's a 5-point swing. And then a couple of missed box outs. And it's like, all right, was that rotational? Not really. It's like we got to box out better. And so if we got to get back better. And if we do those things, then we're not even talking about rotation patterns right now. So, you got to get those guys out at some point. You got to get them both rest. They both played great last night. We just got to clean up the other stuff.
Coach, were you happy with the pace of the game?
Happy? I mean, yeah. Pace was fine. Yeah, it was a really fast game. That's how we like it. That's how they like it. We just got to do a better job in all the areas that I've talked about.
What did you make of the outside of the arena? Inside was pretty incredible.
I didn't see it. I was inside. Yeah.
Steve, with Steph's minutes, how do you dictate whether he's going to go 12-6 or go something different? Is it matchup based? Is it game feel? I mean, how do you dictate when he's going to sit and when he's going to rest? I mean, we've seen different variations over the years.
Yeah. It will depend on how he's feeling, how the game's going. But the one thing that we've settled into, he's going to get 1 break each half. He's not going to get 2 breaks each half like he was doing in the middle of the season. So that break could come at the end of the first with 2 minutes left. It could come, at the top of the second. But either way, I think we're going to sit him 10 minutes a game. That's what I think is best for him and for the team. Thanks.